Hello, I'm Adam and I am a second year biomedical scientist student, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about cystic fibrosis. So for anyone that doesn't know what cystic fibrosis is, it is a disease which is caused by a mutation in the CFTR gene. It's an autosomal recessive disorder, which means that you have to have a copy of the mutated gene from both your mum and your dad. So what actually is cystic fibrosis and how does it make you feel? So, cystic fibrosis is a progressive lung disorder which causes mucus to build up within the lungs and the digestive tract. And people with the disease often describe having cystic fibrosis as almost feeling like you're breathing through a straw or having a heavy object in your chest. Now, people with the disease tend to also have breathing difficulties and recurring chest infections. And the reason for this is because of the mucus that builds up in the lungs. Now, mucus is the perfect environment for microorganisms like bacteria to thrive. There are around 10,600 different people in the UK living with cystic fibrosis and around 100,000 people worldwide. And these people have an average life expectancy of around 44 years old, which may not sound like a lot, but has actually increased drastically over the years due to advances in technology. Cystic fibrosis is diagnosed through a test known as the heel prick test, which is a test taken at birth in which a small sample of blood is taken from a child's heel and tested for a number of different disorders. One of those disorders being cystic fibrosis. If this test suggests that the child does have cystic fibrosis, then a secondary test is taken known as a sweat test, in which the salt content of the child's sweat is tested, as people with cystic fibrosis strangely tend to have higher levels of salt content within their sweat. If this test comes back that the salt content is quite high, then it is highly likely that child has cystic fibrosis. Now, unbeknownst to a lot of people with cystic fibrosis cannot actually come within 2 meters of each other at any time. And the reason for this is because each person with cystic fibrosis has different types of bacteria within the lungs. And while one type of bacteria might be completely fine for one person with cystic fibrosis, it can actually be very, very serious and damaging to another person with cystic fibrosis and can actually kill them. So they have to be really, really careful. So for people with cystic fibrosis, social distancing is normal for them. Now, I hope you learned a few things today about cystic fibrosis, and if there's anything else you'd like to know, then I highly recommend you view the cystic fibrosis website known as cysticfibrosis.org.uk.